Today I want to talk to you about a topic that I believe is holding many of you back from reaching your goals and dreams. It's something that I have seen time and time again in my years of experience, and that, my friends, is perfectionism is stopping you from taking action. See, perfectionism is a mindset that tells us that everything we do must be flawless and without any mistakes. It's the belief that anything less than perfect is not good enough. Now, on the surface, this may seem like a positive trait to have. After all, who doesn't want to do things perfectly? But the truth is, perfectionism is a dangerous trap that can prevent us from taking action and living our best lives. You see, perfectionism is rooted in fear. It's the fear of failure, the fear of making mistakes, and the fear of not being good enough. And when we let this fear control us, we become paralyzed. We become so focused on getting everything perfect that we forget to take action. We get stuck in the planning stage, constantly trying to make everything just right before we even begin. And as a result, we never actually get anything done. Perfectionism also leads to procrastination. We tell ourselves that we can't start a project until we have all the pieces in place. We need the perfect idea, the perfect plan, the perfect timing. But the truth is, there is no such thing as perfect. And while we wait for perfection, time passes us by. We miss opportunities, we miss out on experiences, and we miss out on reaching our full potential. Another danger of perfectionism is that it sets unrealistic expectations for ourselves. We create this image of what our lives should be like, and when reality doesn't match up, we feel like failures. We beat ourselves up for not being perfect, for not achieving the impossible standards we have set for ourselves. And this constant self-criticism can lead to low self-esteem and a lack of confidence. But here's the thing, my friends. Perfectionism is an illusion. It's an unattainable goal that we chase, and it will always leave us feeling unsatisfied and inadequate. The truth is, there is no such thing as perfect. And even if there was, it would be boring. Our imperfections are what make us unique and interesting. They are what make us human. Now, I'm not saying that we shouldn't strive for excellence and do our best in everything we do, but there is a big difference between striving for excellence and striving for perfection. Excellence is about doing our best and continuously improving. It's about progress, not perfection. Perfection, on the other hand, is about being flawless, and that is simply not achievable. So what can we do to overcome perfectionism and start taking action towards our goals and dreams? The first step is to recognize that perfectionism is a problem. It's important to acknowledge that our fear of failure and our need for perfection is holding us back. Once we are aware of this, we can start to change our mindset. The next step is to let go of our need for control. Perfectionism is often rooted in our desire to have everything go exactly as planned. But the truth is, life is unpredictable, and things rarely go as planned. We need to learn to let go of our need for control and embrace the unknown. It's in the unknown that we can find new opportunities and experiences that we never would have imagined. Another way to overcome perfectionism is to focus on progress, not perfection. Instead of striving for perfection, strive for progress. Celebrate your small wins and improvements along the way. Remember, it's not about being perfect, it's about making progress towards your goals. And finally, learn to embrace your imperfections. Our imperfections are what make us unique and beautiful. They are what make us human. Instead of trying to hide them or fix them, embrace them. Embrace your quirks, your flaws, and your mistakes. They are all a part of who you are, and they should be celebrated. We live in a society that constantly bombards us with messages of perfection. We are told to have the perfect body, the perfect job, the perfect family, the perfect life. We are bombarded with images of flawless celebrities and influencers on social media, making us believe that perfection is attainable. But let me tell you, my friends, perfection is a myth. The truth is, there is no such thing as perfection. It is an illusion that we have created in our minds. We have set impossible standards for ourselves, and we are constantly chasing this unattainable idea of perfection. And in this pursuit, we often forget to appreciate and celebrate our imperfections. But here's the thing. Our imperfections are what make us unique and beautiful. They are what make us human. Think about it. Would you rather live in a world where everyone is the same? Or would you rather live in a world where everyone is different, with their own flaws and imperfections? I believe the latter is what makes life interesting and worth living. Perfection is an unattainable goal, and constantly striving for it will only lead to disappointment and frustration. It will hold you back from reaching your full potential and living a fulfilling life. As the saying goes, perfection is the enemy of progress. When we focus on being perfect, we are afraid to take risks and try new things because we are afraid of failure. But let me tell you, my friends, failure is not the opposite of perfection. It is a stepping stone towards it. In fact, some of the most successful people in the world have failed multiple times before achieving their goals. Take Thomas Edison, for example. He failed over 1,000 times before inventing the light bulb, but he didn't see those failures as setbacks. He saw them as opportunities to learn and improve. He understood that perfection is not a destination, it is a journey. We need to shift our mindset from striving for perfection to striving for progress. Instead of aiming for perfection, aim for growth and improvement. Embrace your imperfections and use them as a driving force to become a better version of yourself. As long as you are making progress, you are on the right track. Now, I want to address a common misconception about perfection, that it is necessary for success. We often believe that in order to be successful, we need to be perfect. But let me tell you, success has nothing to do with perfection. Success is about setting goals, taking action, and continuously improving. It is about being persistent and resilient in the face of challenges. In fact, I would argue that our imperfections are what make us successful. They teach us valuable lessons and help us grow. They also make us relatable and approachable to others. People are drawn to authenticity, not perfection. So, embrace your imperfections and use them to your advantage. Now, I want to address a group of people who are especially affected by the myth of perfection, the young generation. With the rise of social media, young people are bombarded with images of perfection every day. They are constantly comparing themselves to others and feeling inadequate. But let me tell you, my young friends, you are perfect just the way you are. You don't need to conform to society's unrealistic standards of perfection. You are unique and special in your own way. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Instead of striving for perfection, focus on developing your skills and talents. Work on becoming the best version of yourself, not someone else's version of perfection. On the other hand, progress is real. It is tangible. It is something that we can see and feel. And most importantly, it is something that we can control. We may not be able to achieve perfection, but we can make progress every single day. Let me share with you a personal story. When I first started my journey towards personal development, I was obsessed with perfection. I wanted to be the perfect speaker, the perfect mentor, the perfect role model. But the more I chased perfection, the more frustrated I became. I would spend hours rehearsing my speeches, trying to make every word and gesture perfect. And yet, when I stood on that stage, I could never live up to my own expectations. It wasn't until I let go of my obsession with perfection and focused on making progress that I truly started to grow and improve. I stopped trying to be perfect and instead focused on becoming better with each passing day. And you know what? My speeches became more authentic, my mentoring became more impactful, and my role as a leader became more fulfilling. The same principle applies to all aspects of our lives. Whether it is our relationships, our careers, or our personal goals, progress is what truly matters. It is the small steps that we take each day that lead us towards our ultimate destination. Think about it. If we only focus on perfection, we will never be satisfied. There will always be something that we can improve upon, but if we focus on progress, we can celebrate our achievements and see how far we have come. Now, I'm not saying that we should settle for mediocrity. Far from it. We should always strive to be the best versions of ourselves. But we must also understand that progress is not a straight line. It is filled with ups and downs, twists and turns, and that is okay. In fact, that is what makes the journey towards our goals so exciting and fulfilling. Progress is also about embracing our imperfections. We all have flaws and weaknesses, and that is what makes us human. Instead of trying to hide or fix our imperfections, we should embrace them and use them as opportunities for growth. As the great writer and philosopher Confucius once said, "The man who moves a mountain begins by carrying away small stones." But let me tell you, my friends, fear of failure is not something that is unique to you or me. It is something that every single one of us has experienced at some point in our lives. The fear of not being good enough, the fear of making mistakes, the fear of disappointing others, the fear of falling short of our own expectations, these are all forms of the fear of failure. But here's the thing. Fear of failure is not something to be ashamed of. It is a natural human emotion that is designed to protect us from harm. But the problem arises when we let this fear consume us and dictate our actions, when we let it hold us back from taking risks, from trying new things, from pursuing our dreams. That's when it becomes a problem. So how do we overcome this fear of failure? How do we break free from its grip and unleash our full potential? Well, I have some good news for you. It is possible. And today, I am going to share with you some practical steps that you can take to conquer your fear of failure and start living a life of purpose and fulfillment. The first step towards overcoming fear of failure is to understand that failure is not the opposite of success. It is a part of success. Let me say that again. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is a part of success. Think about it. Every successful person you admire has failed at some point in their journey. But what sets them apart is that they didn't let their failures define them. They didn't let it stop them from moving forward. Instead, they used their failures as stepping stones towards their ultimate goal. So, my friends, I want you to reframe your mindset when it comes to failure. Instead of seeing it as something to be feared, see it as an opportunity to learn and grow. Embrace your failures and use them as a tool to become better, stronger, and wiser. The second step towards overcoming fear of failure is to identify the root cause of your fear. Is it a fear of judgment? Is it a fear of not being good enough? Is it a fear of losing everything you have worked for? Whatever it may be, it is important to identify the root cause so that you can address it head on. One way to do this is to visualize the worst-case scenario. What is the absolute worst thing that could happen if you fail? And then ask yourself, can you handle it? Most of the time, the answer is yes. And that realization alone can help alleviate some of your fears. The third step is to take action. As the saying goes, action cures fear. The longer we sit and dwell on our fears, the bigger they become. But when we take action, we are taking control of our fears and proving to ourselves that we are capable of overcoming them. So, my friends, I urge you to take that first step, no matter how small it may seem. Whether it's signing up for that class you've been wanting to take, starting that business you've been dreaming of, or having that difficult conversation with a loved one, take action. And I promise you, the more you do it, the easier it will become. The fourth step towards overcoming fear of failure is to surround yourself with the right people. As the saying goes, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So if you want to overcome your fear of failure, surround yourself with people who have already done it. People who have faced their fears and come out on the other side stronger and more successful. Find a mentor who can guide you, a support system who can cheer you on, and a community who can hold you accountable. Having the right people in your corner can make all the difference when it comes to overcoming fear of failure. And finally, my friends, the last step towards conquering your fear of failure is to have faith in yourself. Believe in your abilities, your strengths, and your resilience. Believe that you are capable of achieving great things, and that even if you do fail, you have what it takes to bounce back and try again. Remember, failure is not the end. It is just a detour on the road to success. And the only way to truly fail is to give up. So have faith in yourself and keep moving forward, no matter how many times you may stumble and fall. Think about it. Every successful person you admire has imperfections. They have made mistakes, faced failures, and experienced setbacks. But what sets them apart is their ability to embrace those imperfections and use them as stepping stones to success. They didn't let their flaws hold them back. Instead, They use them as fuel to propel themselves forward. One of my favorite quotes is by the great Winston Churchill, who said, "Success is not final, failure is not fatal. It is the courage to continue that counts." This quote perfectly encapsulates the essence of embracing imperfection. Success is not a destination, it is a journey. And along that journey, we will face failures and setbacks. But it is our courage to continue, to learn from our mistakes, and to keep moving forward that will ultimately lead us to success. I want you to think about the most successful person you know. Now think about their imperfections. Can you even name one? That's because their imperfections do not define them. It is their determination, resilience, and perseverance that have brought them to where they are today. So why do we fear imperfection? Why do we let it hold us back from reaching our full potential? It is because we have been conditioned to believe that it is something to be ashamed of. We have been taught to hide our flaws and present a perfect image to the world. But let me tell you, my friends, imperfection is not something to be ashamed of. It is something to be celebrated. Our imperfections make us unique. They make us human. They give us character and depth. And most importantly, they give us the opportunity to grow and improve. Without imperfection, there would be no room for growth. We would become stagnant and complacent. I often say that the only way to truly fail is to not learn from our mistakes. When we embrace imperfection, we give ourselves the freedom to make mistakes and learn from them. We no longer fear failure. Instead, we see it as a necessary step toward success. But embracing imperfection is not just about our own personal growth. It is also about how we view and treat others. When we let go of our own need for perfection, we can also let go of our judgment towards others. We can see them as imperfect beings, just like us, and accept them for who they are. This creates a more compassionate and understanding world where we can all support and uplift each other. So how can we start embracing imperfection in our own lives? The first step is to let go of the need for perfection. Stop comparing yourself to others and focus on your own journey. Embrace your flaws and see them as opportunities for growth. And most importantly, be kind to yourself. We are often our own harshest critics, but we must learn to be our own biggest cheerleaders. Another important aspect of embracing imperfection is to surround ourselves with people who accept us for who we are. We are greatly influenced by the people we spend the most time with. So it is essential to surround ourselves with positive and supportive individuals who embrace imperfection themselves. In closing, my friends, I want to leave you with this thought. Imperfection is not a weakness. It is a strength. It is what makes us human and what gives us the opportunity to grow and succeed. So let us embrace our imperfections, celebrate them, and use them to our advantage. As we continue on our journey of personal development, let us remember that perfection is not the goal, but rather it is the courage to embrace imperfection that will lead us to true success and fulfillment. Thank you.